So when I heard Dance Like a Dervish and, Lightning Could Strike, that really resonated with me because I wanted to live. Whenever people ask me my favorite movies, one of my favorite movies will always be Meet Joe Black. It's in my top 10. But I've noticed whenever I've mentioned that movie as one of my favorites, there's like a bit of a disconnect. I don't know if it's that they haven't seen the movie, they don't know what it is a bit older, or if there's something about it they don't like. Surely there couldn't be something about this movie that people don't like. So I looked it up. I did some digging. I wanted to do the research for some criticisms, and I did the research. And boy, did I find the criticisms. But if you sit with me right now, we're going to look at why all of those criticisms are hot garbage. They suck. Let's start with the premise of the movie. So Death takes a vacation from reaping so that he can learn about what life is and what it means to live and fall in love. The first criticism that I saw was that the movie is very long, 3 hours long. And I never had a problem with that because I just want more. I want to keep watching the movie. Like some people have a problem with the pacing. I don't care because I love the movie and I want that slow ride. I want to appreciate every minute I can of this. And my argument to that is this. Do you complain about there being too much freaking turkey on Thanksgiving because there's too much turkey? No, you eat a little bit of that turkey and you enjoy it. And you enjoy it in November and then you don't enjoy it again for a while. Unless you've decided to start trying turkey maybe twice a year. Maybe you have a little maize giving, Maybe you want a little gravy with your turkey sometimes. You don't have to eat the whole turkey at once, but because there's so much turkey doesn't mean that it's bad. If this movie's too dang long for you, pause it and watch the rest. But just set aside some time to enjoy a beautiful movie about life. Okay, so that's the first one. You can take that and get out of town, okay? You can scram. Another criticism that I've seen is the car scene. We all know the scene where he gets smashed by a car and he does all these flips and the CGI is a little funny. I mean, it looks pretty good, but it's also a little funky, and it kind of, the way it's juxtaposed with the romance of the moments before that is a little funny. I don't care. Okay, you can get out of town. I can't say that to everything. I can't say that to every criticism here, and it does take you out of the moment. Maybe they could have handled that spot with the shock factor of it is pretty interesting, and it's done its job. It's every few years it makes its rounds on social media. What they could have done is instead of showing it, you hear it and you know that something happened. That's always a successful way to do it. But if they wanted that shock value, then it's good. It's the next generation of people can find it because of that strange smash of the car, of the Joe Black and the flipping. It has its shock value. It's modern day social media attention grabbing. So those two criticisms, gone, out the window, crushed, smashed, flip-flapped, applejacked. Somebody pay my mama back. Just made up that nursery rhyme. The third one, peanut butter. So some people have said that the peanut butter whole situation is kind of strange and out of place, like his sudden infatuation with peanut butter. But that's as human as it gets for a guy becoming a man and a human, a person. Almost all of us love peanut butter. And almost all of us, if we could, would have a spoon of it a day. And so most of us do. Okay? So peanut butter is fantastic. It's an endearing character trait to have Joe Black want peanut butter all the time. It's like a little kid, a little kid finds out that ice cream is delicious. They're going to want ice cream all the time. And it's character building. It's a character trait to get you more attached to his character, his humanity. And the name of the peanut butter is pretty cool too. What is it? Rudda Scudder's peanut butter? Something like that. It sounds like something out of a Robin Williams movie. Makes me want some right now, just thinking about it. Want to walk around with a spoonful of peanut butter. We love it. And also the fact that I really like that he's walking around that mansion at night, getting a look into the underworkings of how this rich family lives. It's super cool. Like it just sounds fun. Like there's intrigue there. Okay. Here's one that I saw on Twitter. The scene where they kiss for the first time. There's that grandfather clock and she says, "Oh, my mother says you can set your heart by this clock," or something along those lines. And then that whole buildup is great. The emotional intensity between them, you can feel the romantic tension in the air. But after they kiss, he says a line. He says something like,
feeling in my knees.
And is your heart beating strangely?
Yes. Faster. The taste of your lips and the touch of your tongue, that was wonderful.
The taste of your lips and feel of your tongue was wonderful. He says it kind of like that. Wonderful. I don't know how he says it, but it's kind of... The thing is, people have a problem with that writing, and it's because it's on the nose. It's something people typically wouldn't say. You know, people kiss in real life, or if there's that love, there's that silence that follows. The understood silence that is realistic of people having a moment together, they understand. But the thing is, he's not a human. He's death getting his first kiss, and he's reacting out loud to the moment of this situation with a person that he's falling for. So I'm okay with this because it may be on the nose dialogue, but it makes sense for his character. It makes sense for Death to kind of be whirling in his emotion and his feelings and letting it spill out. So you can take that criticism and get the heck out of here. You can skip town because it works for his character. Think about that. Think about that. This is one of the biggest ones. And it's how do you say patois? Is it patois or patois? Let me look this up. Real time searching. Boop, boop, beep, boop. Patois. Un, deux, trois. That doesn't make any sense. So him speaking like the Creole patois. There are two sides of this that I think are where the criticisms come from. There's the group of people that don't realize that the accent is kind of built in to patois, like pidgin. You have to speak it right. You have to sound like you're basically from there. So the people who don't realize that and think he's trying to put on like an accent that doesn't work for him, you're wrong. Flat out. That's it. The second group, the ones that are correct, are the ones that have a problem with the pronunciation of some of his words. There's this great video. I'm going to link it. I think I have a picture for it. It's right here. Right freaking there. This person did such a great job breaking down where his accent and his delivery worked and where it kind of fell short. Overall, she said it was pretty good. So you're going to listen to everybody else, or you're going to listen to this person who's from Jamaica that speaks the patois, this person who knows more than you do about how he's speaking. Secondly, he had help from the actress in the scene. She was his like dialect coach. She coached him through it. She helped him train. Was Lois Kelly Miller. So she was the hospital patient. She's the one who gave him everything he needed and the okay to perform the way he needed to. So if it's good enough for her, then you can skip town and get out of my face. You're dead to me. Okay? I don't want to hear about you complaining about Joe Black, talking about everything gonna be Irie. That's one thing, though, she said that he pronounced wrong, because he did it kind of stereotypical. That he did a good job. There's some interesting comments on that video that also help smash that criticism in between the eyes and the face and the nose. Check this out. One of these comments is that this also is not 100% realistic to real life. The director and the producers, whoever it is, they have to make the decision of what's going to be more understandable to the general audience. So that's going to be tweaking some sentences and some words that might not be used properly in some situations. And it happens all the time. It won't be correct, but it's understandable to the greater audience. So check this comment out. At K. Renee, 3 years ago, I don't know, I read that. As a Jamaican born, raised and living in Jamaica, I appreciated his accent. He did good. Obviously, he doesn't sound authentically Jamaican because he's not. He's not. He's an actor. He's Death. The biggest thing is the sentence structure isn't how we would speak naturally, but I get that the intentional audience also needs to understand tone, okay? So I don't know if she wrote tone. I think I wrote that. But that goes to my point. Was there another comment? There's some good comments on that video. Basically all kind of just supporting his performance there. Those are the main criticisms that I found. Now I want to kind of dig into some of my own thoughts and my own feelings about the movie aside from that stuff. The music. The cold lamb sandwiches score, it's beautiful. It feels like life. It feels like reflecting on the beauty of something past. It's a beautiful movie score. So much so that it makes my voice crack in that last sentence. It's everything about that movie score works with the movie for me. It feels like you're a part of something grander, like a grander story about life and love. Another thing for my review is experience. So whenever you're watching a movie, this can be fall under set pieces or location, but the experience of the movie itself lends to how good the movie is as well. So to speak to that, this movie set in the super rich, fancy life of Manhattan, New York, the Big Apple, the Big Monsanto. So this movie lets you experience and live in that world of like a high-rise mansion with a freaking pool in it. The Manhattan mansions, the fancy kitchens, the estate grounds, and the gigantic parties, dressing nicely, the grand fireworks, the music, the huge business moves, owning a big business, and the luxury of it all, and also at the same time how that doesn't matter because Bill Parrish his name is Parrish. He's gonna go. He's gonna pass. He's gonna perish. What a nice little note. Why didn't they just name him Bill Nye? Bill Nye, the science guy. That's a good note for writing, and that leads me in to my next section, which is writing notes that I really love, that are good about the movie. In the beginning, one of his daughters mentions a Viking funeral. So right at the beginning, she's talking about the party, and she says it's going to be like a Viking funeral with like a fire being set off in the distance, and except it's without all the morbidity. So essentially, he's going to his own funeral. That's such a great setup that it's just we're seeing him getting to appreciate his life at his own funeral. It's like a beautiful little note. It just connects really well. Something that Bill Parrish's character said that I love is to make the journey and to not fall deeply in love. You haven't lived a life at all. You have to try. And if you haven't tried, you haven't lived. And that's the sum of the whole movie. That's death's goal. And that's one of the most beautiful things in life. It's to fall deeply in love unconditionally with somebody. Bill calls his daughter honey. Joe calls his younger sister honey. He's protective in a similar way. So when we're introduced to him, we hear him saying honey over and over on the phone. And then he also says, there's a time to reap and a time to sow. And this is a time to reap, I think is what he says. So instant connections to death, instant connections to her character, there's like this protective layer over his sister that kind of feels similar to Anthony Hopkins' protectiveness over her, which links them in a quicker way as well together. Spoiler alert, death and taxes means a lot in this movie. So the fact that at the very end, he says death and taxes, and he's an IRS agent, it's just, that's poetry, man. Like, he also uses this to put Drew in prison, or at least make him pay. He doesn't put him in prison, but he undoes the deal with Montague, and Bill gets his, what's the word? It's not dynasty, legacy. Bill gets his legacy back, and it's just sweet justice, because death is an IRS agent that is dealing taxes as well. Two things you can't escape. Two things we cannot escape. Here's some really cool stuff too about Joe, about death, about his journey. So when he's at the party, before it's the night of the party. First of all, I love big grand parties because I never really got to go to them too much. Like the fancy stuff where everybody puts on a suit and they dress up and there's music and there's food and there's just beautiful scenery. So the scene where they're setting up that party already hooks me because they're walking around. It's like the start. It's like before a wedding or something. I really like that scene with him and Quince. And Quince is he's all in shambles over how he betrayed Bill accidentally by saying that Joe is the one who's calling all the shots. Well, in that scene, Joe asks Quince, "Do you love Allison?"
You love Allison, don't you? Yes, I do.
And he says, "Yeah." And he says, "And she loves you?" And he says, "Yeah." And he says, "How do you know?"
How do you know? Because she knows the worst thing about me, and it's okay.
You know each other's secrets. The deepest, darkest secrets.
Deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah, and then you're free.
He says, because they know the worst thing about each other, and it's okay because it's unconditional. Like they're free. It makes them free to love each other completely. They know each other's deepest, darkest secrets, and they fully accept and love each other. And then that weighs heavy on Joe because she doesn't know that he's death. Joe sidesteps this and he tells Bill that he tells Bill that he's gonna tell Claire that he loves her and he wants her to come with him. Bill knows this means he's gonna bring her with him to the other side. He says, you don't love her. You don't know. She doesn't love you because she doesn't know who you are. If you love her, tell her who you are. Show her so that she can choose.
I'm perfect.
And if she accepts you, basically.
To take whatever you want because it pleases you. It's not love.
She loves me.
She loves you? Who is you? Did you tell her who you are?
No.
Does she know where she's going? Huh? You say you love her, but you don't know what love is. She loves you, but she doesn't know who you are. You make a deal, you're breaking it. Bottom line is, Joe, you're swindling her soul and you're doing it with your eyes wide open.
I don't like what you're saying.
So Joe doesn't like that, but he goes and meets with Claire, and when he meets up with her, he's still got this burden on him. The first time he saw her, he was happy. The second time, now there's a weight. And he walks up to her, and he grabs her hands, and they're upside down. They're palm down, and he's looking at her hands. And this is really cool. This is like one of my favorite lines in the whole movie, because she says,
You're trying to tell me my future, you're looking on the wrong side.
the wrong side. The wrong side of life. The other side. Death, life, the other side. So he's thinking of bringing her with him, and it's the wrong side. She doesn't belong over there. And then on top of that, there's this confusion, like, is she on the wrong side if she stays? And if he's looking at, and then he's looking at the back of her hands, like he's avoiding the future. So it's just really well written, and the whole scene is just really well put together. And then the fact that, just let me reiterate it again, if you're trying to tell me my future, you're looking on the wrong side. He feels guilty because he doesn't know what to do, and he wants to take her to that side with him. He's looking on the wrong side. He's doing it wrong. Then she starts talking about when they first met. Says, remember that morning at the coffee shop? And she recalls their conversation, and he says, did I say that? And he says, the coffee shop. That hurts him, because that wasn't him. That's not, he needs to show her who he is. And he realizes that she might love that other guy. So he's in this turmoil. So then he starts to show her who he is. He holds her tight, and he reveals something to her, almost like he's giving her some sort of energy that she can see that he's somebody else, that they're almost going somewhere else. She said she feels like they're lifting off, and she looks him in the eyes, and she is scared because she doesn't know what's going on. And then she retreats into choosing to believe that he's just Joe. She's like, you're Joe. I know you're Joe. So he lets her have that. He says, yeah, I'm Joe. And then he tells her, I promise you'll always have what you found in the coffee shop. And this is the beauty of that moment. Death has come full circle on his journey. He selflessly revealed who he was to her because he loves her. When he saw it scared her, he let her be. He let her go. And that's the most human thing he could do. He did not want to be rejected, but he put his heart on the line and showed who he really was. And that vulnerability is one of the most beautiful, challenging things for all of us to do. And then he gave her up. So then he talks to Bill and lets her know, like, makes Bill feel a lot better. And then he walks across he takes Bill across to the other side, and he comes back, and then Death gave Joe his body back. And he's talking to Claire, and he says, you can tell he's confused where he is, but she knows something's off. And he starts talking about the coffee shop. And then she says, the coffee shop. Exactly like he did before. And this time she's realizing that she's really realizing that that there was somebody else that she was falling in love with. And then he recalls it just like she did before, talking about that moment. And then she settles it with, we know so little about each other. So, okay, she knows he was somebody else. Then she says, I wish you could have known my father. And that really locks it in. 100%. She knows Joe is a different Joe. In conclusion, death found love. He gave it up, and it found him back after all. He found true love. He got unconditional love, and he gave it. It's beautiful. And then, there's the whole It's a Wonderful Life song, the fireworks popping off, just appreciating the ephemeral nature of life, things passing. Death is grieving, his life being over. Fireworks are beautiful. He knows that it's time to go, and he had the full human experience. I mean, give or take, family stuff and all this other stuff, but he got to fall in love, and it was time for him to get back to where he needed to go. Well, I want to finish with the subjectivity of a movie, because there is subjectivity in art. Art is subjective. If it weren't, everybody would have the same favorite movie, but they don't. So when I was a kid, Aladdin was my favorite movie, and most other kids' favorite movie was The Lion King. Both are amazing movies. Why this movie means so much to me. Most of my 20s were spent just surviving. Like, I was alive, but I wasn't living. I was alive, but I wasn't living. Now, I was chewed up and spit out, and I was left in a state of having a hard time ever wondering if I would trust or love or put myself out there again, or even just hoping. I was having a hard time even just hoping. So when I heard, I want you to levitate, I want you to sing with rapture and dance like a dervish, I couldn't move. I was locked in.
This
movie was for me.
I want you to sing with rapture and dance like a dervish.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, be deliriously happy. At least leave yourself open to me.
And for most of those years, I was shrinking. I was growing smaller by the minute, giving things up that I loved that I never thought I would, accepting things that I shouldn't, dancing, falling in love. Yeah, I needed all of that. I needed to believe I could learn how to live, to learn how to trust and to love properly. So I started dancing at parties and learning how to play guitar and singing and putting myself out there and being goofy and out in public and letting me just be me, letting me take up space, learning new things, changing what I didn't like. And I gave myself the challenge to grow, to be vulnerable. It worked out. I have a wife, a son. I'm doing okay. There's such blessings, and I've got such a full heart. I've got a goofy dog named Finn, too, and a numbskull. Well, I'm still figuring things out.
That's life. What can I tell you?
When Joe walks back over that bridge, is Anthony Hopkins just face down in a puddle of mud, or what's going on with him? Like, if she were to walk over that bridge, is he old hunches up? And now you're gonna love this movie. Go watch it. Get you some snacks. Make sure you got no distractions. Wait till it's evening or nighttime. Sit back and let yourself feel. And remember, obia